short and sweet Nikke reviews, episode Snow White, Heavy Arms. Go! With her memories restored and a newfound determination to kill the Rapture Queen, Snow White steps onto the stage for Nikke's New Year's patch. Her skill 1 can be cut up into a couple of different parts. Lock on, autofire ready, and autofire. Lock on essentially boils down to designating 5 enemies as targets for 7 dwarves. Autofire ready then loads 7 dwarves with up to 5 ammo, buffs Snow White's defense by 42.24% continuously, and makes the designated lock-on targets take 4.2% more damage for 4 seconds. Finally, autofire does 2 different things depending on whether or not the target is in lock-on status. It deals 41.9% of Snow White's final attack as damage to all non-lock-on status enemies, while increasing that damage to 105.59% of her final attack as damage to all enemies that are in lock-on status. These attack values are then applied times the number of ammo you loaded into 7 dwarves through autofire ready while charging your shot. At the start of battle, skill 2 fixes Snow White's charge time at 1.2 seconds continuously. When you full charge your shots, Snow White gains Pierce, buffs her attack by 46.84%, and buffs her damage to parts by 62.64%. All 3 of these buffs last for 5 seconds. The second part of her skill 2 activates when entering burst 3, and raises her attack by 73.92% for 10 seconds. On top of that, while bursting with Snow White, her charge damage and sequential attack damage are buffed by 528% and 158.4% for 1 round respectively. The sequential attack damage buff refers to the damage she deals with the ammo she loaded through autofire ready. Finally, Snow White's burst does a list of things. It buffs her attack damage by 84.48% for 10 seconds and increases the max number of lock-on targets and max ammo that can be loaded by autofire ready to 10 each. These buffs can only be used twice. While Snow White can keep bursting, she will only receive her attack damage buff and cannot receive the max ammo or lock-on target increases more than twice. Finally, her burst deals 41.9% of her final attack as damage to all destructive projectiles. Think missiles or long-distance attacks from bosses. To boil it all down, all you gotta do is charge your shots for anywhere between 1 second and her full charge time of 1.2 seconds to maximize her self buffs and damage output. She works like a regular sniper, except when you really boil down all of her skill 1 and skill 2 self buffs, she's very dependent on fully charging her shots to get the max value out of her DPS output and buff multipliers. Overall, despite the word vomit that her skill descriptions are, her gameplay is straightforward and is easier to understand by simply practicing with her rather than reading about her skills. The longer you charge and risk taking damage, the more powerful her damage output becomes, and she has some really solid damage multipliers woven into her kit. Overall, she receives an S tier 9 out of 10 score. A really effective glass cannon sniper DPS with a deceptively straightforward kit despite the word salad of skill descriptions. Go practice with her in the range rather than try to read her kit description. It'll be easier to learn with hands-on experimentation than reading about it.